So Rareware had a community direct the other day for Sea of Thieves, and I've just now looked at it. And I can confidently say for the first time in a very long time that this game is headed in the right direction. Let's talk about it. The first thing I want to touch on that I caught wind of in the video was custom seas. Now, if you don't know, this is basically just custom servers like any other game, but for Sea of Thieves, it makes a lot more sense. It's a server that you might have to pay for, but you can manipulate the sandbox however you see fit. World events, weather, anything that would naturally spawn, you can make it spawn. This helps a lot for people that make videos, anything like that, and I feel like it was a really, really, really necessary addition. But there might be a bit of backlash with having to pay for it and all of that, but it's whatever. The next thing I'd like to touch on is how Rare is reformatting how they release content and updates. They touched on in the video that they'll be changing how they release seasons, with 1 month focusing on the changes to the sandbox, i.e. the content update in itself. The second month with a time-limited event to keep the content fresh, which is something we really needed. Because I do feel with how long seasons are, the game gets very stale very quickly. Because after you've done the new piece of content, it still feels like the same old game you played last season. The third month of a season will fix any bugs, all that stuff, and polish the game to make it run correctly, all that jazz. I like this change because Rare is now planning out a more structured roadmap that they can keep track of with seasons and not just planning out everything years and years and years and years and years and years in advance. I feel like that overworked Rare and players got mad when those expectations weren't met and the content was way less cool. The second to last thing I would like to touch on is Rare's inevitable changes to Safer Seas. They are not changing the progression again, thankfully, but you can now add other ships to your Safer Seas game controlled by your friends, Safer Seas fleets. I feel like this opens a whole window with PvP practice to narrow out the skill gap in the game a little bit more. This was definitely needed as most new players just jump right into adventure mode and then just get steamrolled. The final and most interesting piece of the direct that I would like to touch on is the sneak peek they gave us into Season 18. We already know that Season 17 will add smugglers, a new trading company, whatever that may be. But Season 18 definitely intrigued me. They seem to be wanting to update or expand the Devil's Roar, something that really hasn't been touched since it released. I never see players go over there, and if I do, it's very, very rare. I feel like that Rare is marking the nail on the head with rehashing and updating old content that is not used anymore and making it fresh in the sandbox and just adding something new and letting people forget about other stuff that's in the game. Hey, sorry this video was so short. I'm definitely going to become more consistent and there's more on the way. Thank you, bye. Please subscribe to me. I need money.